Hey, Inspire Tribe, how's it going? I'm starting with a man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message ever been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, just look at yourself and then change. Be the change. Be the change. Na 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 na. Hey, Inspired Tribe, how's it going? Welcome to the Inspired Livestream. It is Wednesday, March 10th, 2020, WONW1, 2021, and we're excited that you're here. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. Played a little music there for you guys in the beginning. Just felt like doing my version of Man in the Mirror. A great song, if you remember, by Michael Jackson. Hey Emma, hey Agnieszka, hey everyone. Just waiting for people to jump on as we dive into kind of a little bit of a continuation of yesterday. Hey Rose, how's it going? We're healthy, wealthy, whole, and free. Remember this, guys. This is not just something we say. It's something that you can hang your hat on, really. We're healthy, wealthy, whole, and free. By the way, this is live stream number 144, I believe. 144. It might even be 145. Actually, let me go check that. I might have made a mistake here. No, it's 144. And so we're I think 10 days away from having our 1-year anniversary since we started the Inspired live streams, which is really, as the name says, it was an inspired idea. Kristin came out of a meditation last March when the big shift began to happen on our planet, and she came out of a meditation and said, why don't we do daily live streams? She said, I believe people need that right now. I believe we should just start doing it and just start talking with people and create kind of a community. And my gosh, what a beautiful, beautiful year it's been with all of you. And the Inspired Tribe is growing. Wonderful, wonderful people that are in the tribe. And as always, when you tune in for the first time, remember, guys, as soon as you watch a live stream, whether it's live or live to you, meaning later on, you're now part of the Inspired Tribe. You're now a member, and we're so excited to have you. We're excited that you're here, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just a member. There's no membership fee. It's a really, really cool community, and so we want to. Oh, thank you so much, Emma. Thank you. She said these live streams saved me. Live streams saved me. Thank you, Emma. That's really a wonderful thing to say. And so I can see the people that are right now commenting in the live chat are pretty much the founding members of the Inspired live stream here in the Inspired Tribe. So please let us know where you're tuning in from, what your name is in the live chat. That's always wonderful for people to connect, to hear. And then later on, you can check out the links. Maybe you want to join the Facebook group. Maybe you want to join our Telegram channel, which is kind of up, and we're building that. Or maybe you want to send us an email and connect with the other tribe members. So just remember, this is a community. This is by no way a one-way street. Illy's saying Dallas, Texas. So Inspired Tribe. We started yesterday with a topic that is, as I said yesterday, we always say, well, the future, we need to create a better future for our children. But we also have it's also the other way around. We also need to bring up better children for the future, so the future will be better. And so often, Kristin and I, on our walks, have these conversations, and we speak about the importance of bringing children up the right way, the importance of bringing them into the right environment. But sometimes what we do is we daydream, and we look into a time not too far from now when the children of the future will, they speak to us and they say things and we see things. And sometimes I meditate and I see the future and I see so many beautiful things, and which are the result of what we're doing right now. Just a few days ago in a meditation, I saw a vision of the future where today's children, by then, young adults or adolescents, they are they're helping they're helping the others, the olders. They're helping them to see and understand. And I can see cities, big cities, that are becoming cleaner, and people are cleaning them up, and they're cleaning not just their trash. They are beginning to plant gardens again. They're beginning to plant trees in the cities. They're beginning to plant roses and bushes and edible trees and fruits, and they are literally revitalizing the city with life, with pure life and pure nature. And I can envision a future very soon from now where every balcony, every rooftop, every little space that is available in the city will be green, and it will be alive, and it will bring people joy, and they will go out and they will be in laughter and fun and joy, and they will rejoice because it's so beautiful to be in nature. And so as we speak about the importance of bringing up our children and the next generation the right way, these children will do wonderful things. They will be much purer than we are, because they will not have gone through the same stages of experiencing trauma and pain and all those things that our world has caused us to feel and to see. And it has allowed us to see contrast and grow from that and expand from that. But there's a generation coming that we can have wonderful, positive influence over, that will be free from the beginning, that will function in a completely different way. And it always inspires me to see what is possible in our community, in our environment, and among our friends. The children that tend to be most connected are the ones who might not have gone into the school system at all, that might not have been a part of this, I will say, equalizing machine. I believe our school systems are, it's an equalizing machine where the main intent is to equalize the children, make them the same, make them see, believe, hear, learn the same things. Whereas a lot of times when children are not exposed to that environment, they become the unique beings that they really are. And so that's very powerful. But there are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful education or school system, shall I say, or different ideas of schooling out there that inspire us. And Kristin and I have gone on this quest. We've gone to seminars. We've invited people that are part of different schools all across Europe. We have done interviews with people that have not sent not schooled their children at all, which they call no schooling, if you will. And what we have seen is such a beautiful abundance of uniqueness and of aliveness in these children. And I believe as a society and as a people, we are exploring and we're remembering, we're relearning the right path, and we probably don't get it right the first or second time, but we are getting it righter all the time. And so the voices of the future, these children, they talk to us. You can listen, you can actually tune in. It's a beautiful thing to do if you just set the intention to hear the future children that might not be even born. But if you set the intention that in your meditation you will hear them, and you will maybe hear what they are encouraging us to do. Maybe you will see how they will live in a world that we're creating. And believe me when I say this with such conviction, because I know, because I've seen it, because I've gone into the vision. There is a generation coming up that we are raising, our children will raise, and we will be there as parents, grandparents, as siblings, as aunts and uncles, and all kinds of different teachers. There's a generation that will grow up in such a conscious environment, and they will be so consciously connecting with nature and their true purpose, And that will be a fairly small number for this next generation to come. It won't be in the tens and hundreds of millions, but this very kind of small number of children will influence our planet, our systems, in ways that we cannot even imagine. And we believe now that the shift is big, but they're going to create a real, tremendous, beautiful shift. And they will come up with ways to do it that we can't even think about. That's the children speaking to us from the future. They will come up with ways that we can't even fathom right now. And isn't this the beauty of this creationship, that there is an unknown, and that it only gets better because we don't know how. We don't know the hows, we don't know the ins, we don't know the outs. We just know that it's going to get better, and these children will open up new doors, new windows. And it's up to us to help, not just educate people, but for those of us who, or for those of you who are not parents yet or want to become parents, for those of you who want to raise, your children differently, or not even, have thought about this. One thing that we will explore maybe over the next weeks and months is how it really begins. And it doesn't begin with birth. It doesn't begin with education. It doesn't even begin in the womb. It begins before that, in a matter of how creation really works. And creating new life, co-creating new life with Source, with God, is the highest creative purpose in this universe, to create new life. And although there is now a technological, method to do this, and kind of do it in a laboratory and do it in an artificial way, just because you can create biological life that way, it doesn't mean that you really create real creation life. And it begins even before a man and a woman join together. It begins way before that, when they begin to imagine together, when they begin to paint a picture together, when they begin to imagine their future child together, when they begin to think about the child's talents and strengths and correct, character, and all of those things. And it is truly like painting a painting, where so much love and detail goes into this process, that eventually, when the time is right, a man and a woman come together, and they do create new life together with Source. And this is a whole new process. Not a new, but this is the original process, how it is meant to be. A big part of the challenges that we're seeing really is that human life so often today is a byproduct of lust, a byproduct of simply unconscious, instinctual behavior. And this is probably one of the iffiest subjects when brought up to people, just because there has been this sexual liberation in the past 50, 60 years in our world, where the misconceptions about what coming together really is. And if you look at the emotional spectrum, if you look at the scale, and if you look at bliss, and if you look at joy, and if you look at freedom, those feelings are high up on the scale. Bliss is pretty much the highest thing. And if you go down and you go through all the other feelings, very low down here somewhere is lust. And the reason being is that lust is simply an instinct that humans have, which is a preservation instinct. We are misinterpreting it. We're misinterpreting it as to act on it all the time. But lust is a preservation instinct for lower forms of consciousness. It isn't a creative instinct. And this energy that we constantly have been taught that this energy can and should be released all the time. But this is the most powerful creative energy. We call it sexual energy, but it's really creative energy. And when we not just tap into this energy, but become conscious about it and learn to move past that urge to release it and actually channel it into a creative process, this is where real really amazing things happen. Artists know this. Artists of all kinds know this. When they use this energy to create something, it's actually very, very powerful. But this energy really, when it's directed the right way, in the most intentional way, this is the energy that creates new life. And there's so much to be said about it, but we put the link for the Anastasia, the Ringing Cedar books up in the, not in the description, but in the live chat. We pinned it up there. So you can, you not just order the books, but actually read them and reread them and reread them. The wisdom that is shared will touch something within you that you might not know now that it's there, but you will then remember when you read the words. You will feel it, and there is so much that goes into this topic, that goes into creation, conscious, loving creation rather than lust, really making love rather than sex, and the upbringing of children, the environment, and what we can do. And this is all practical. I love how broad and wide open our spiritual movements have become on this planet, and how many books are written, how many videos come out, how many documentaries, how many movies. I love that it's such an important thing, but a lot of times I feel like this subject doesn't become tangible for people. There's no practical advice, or there's no where to start, what to do, and how to begin. And I always believe that, or always said, that spirituality is only as valuable as you can practically implement it. Even speaking about meditation is really a practical thing, because it requires a decision and some action of you. And the same goes for these wisdoms that are shared. And this is what I love about the Ringing Cedar books, that everything really always comes back to, how can I, now understanding more and now seeing more, how can I implement that into my life? How can I make those changes? And especially these books have been especially inspiring to future or present parents that have felt that there must be a better way to raise their children, but they simply couldn't find one within the system. And everything that is being suggested within this system is very incomplete and usually very one-sided, and it all stems from an artificial viewpoint. And when you actually dive into the true wisdom of this topic by reading the books, you will see how eye-opening and soul-opening and heart-opening all of this is. And we put every now and then we really put emphasis on the books in the live streams and with our groups, and especially when it comes around the topic of children, because remember that we have this period, right, that goes from, as I said, before conception through pregnancy, and then especially the first 7 years. So that's kind of all in all, that's probably maybe 8, 9, 10 years tops. This is the period in a human being's life where whatever is in the child's field of influence, the child will very much absorb and become like. And as we all know, when this environment is inspiring, when this environment is wise, when this environment is loving, then we become very loving by default. When this environment is troubling, when this environment is very challenging, when it's violent, then we struggle with that for a long time until we heal those wounds. And there's simply no need for that. We're moving into a new state of wisdom as people, where we can remove these obstacles for our future generations by first healing ourselves, and by then creating a more natural environment for them. And natural is nature itself, of course, but also our being, our thinking, our feeling, to harmonize it with the natural processes, and to understand that we have such great capabilities. We have such amazing power, and to also honor and then preserve a child's sovereignty. One of the things that I'm noticing a lot is that children, and we often underestimate that, they have a very intense thought process, and they think about things in their own way, in very intense ways. And when I observe parents and their children, so many times they're interrupting their children in a thought process. Now, I'm not saying when a child is walking down a sidewalk, approaching a road, that shouldn't, naturally a parent will interrupt that and make sure the child doesn't, run on the road. But what I mean is, if the child's in a yard, in a safe space, or even in their room, so many times parents will try to micromanage the even the thought process. And we have to understand that when we allow children to actually go deep within as they do, that they are literally solving their problems and challenges that they have in their minds by connecting with forces that it takes us much more effort to do, and they do it naturally. And so children will come up with answers and solutions, and the parents who are watching, you know this. Your child has probably surprised you many times with what they have said. I know that our children have, when they were very little, and even later on, so many times completely surprised us by the depth of their thought process when it was uninterrupted, and when we didn't color it, the process, by infusing our own limited opinions. And this is such a, if you think about it, this is such a important and highly, I don't know, for me it's a very inspiring field, because I believe more than anything this will paint our future, more than anything this will create our future. So it's very close to my heart, and that's why we have traveled, that's why we have explored, that's why one of our visions is to create a school and create multiple schools that will function completely differently. We have explored this system. We have learned these systems, and learned some of these systems that we strongly believe in. And again, you will find this in the Ringing Cedar books by Vladimir Megre. Again, I put the link up on the live chat. And I can promise you this: I have yet to meet someone who has, started reading the books and actually felt like there's nothing in it for them. For us, it was a complete game changer, life changer. And I don't even know the way I was thinking before. I just know that even the first time, and it's a total of 10 books, when I was done for the first time, I remember feeling like, like having gone through a portal into a completely new dimension, new sphere, new understanding of things. And I keep rereading. I've been rereading them for many years now. There's always one very close to me, and I sometimes just pick it up and open and read. And I can't even say that book and reading aren't even the right terms. I know these mediums are used here, but they're not even the right term. It's a transfer of wisdom and knowledge, and it is an awakening within you, because all of these things that we're talking about, you already know them on a deeper level. You know them because you have access to the field of all that is into that information field that gives you all the answers. But we are, as adults, and then by default, that's what we do with our children. We are distracting ourselves constantly. Our mind is such an underestimated, wonderful, powerful thing when it's used the right way, when it's connected, and when we actually have the time and space, and give ourselves the time and space, and give our children the time and space. But we have been taught to constantly distract ourselves. Turn on the TV, listen to music, be constantly impressed with other people's creations and opinions and ideas of fun and entertainment and impressions. And all those things have a time and place probably. But this distraction hinders us and hinders our children from exploring the secrets of the universe. And children do that. If you remember, as a child, I remember lying in bed and thinking thoughts that I knew even back then I couldn't share with anyone, because when I looked around me, when I listened to other people's conversations, no one was even remotely speaking about the stuff that I was thinking about. But to me, it felt natural. So it must be like that for other children too. And it must be like that for many adults. And I still feel that way. I still feel that when I allow myself, give myself the space, when I'm out in nature, when I allow my thoughts to actually accelerate, because that's what they naturally do. When you think about something and you do it in a connected way, and you do it in co-creation with your creator, your thoughts accelerate. because the more you connect, the faster your thoughts become, because the creator thinks at an incredible, almost undescribable speed. That's how creation works. And our children are able to do that as well. Um, they're actually freer and more capable than we are, because they haven't been conditioned yet. And all of these things, we have a chance, and I believe it is our duty to remember those things, understand those things, implement those things, and give the next generation and the next generation and the next generation the opportunity to do it way better than the opportunity that we had, and to allow them to thrive in ways that we might not even think about yet. I just believe it's the most sacred thing that we can do on this planet. And this is a part of our eternal quest to enrich the lives of children. And there's so much suffering going on that we also have talked about in the past. And it is all part of understanding that the children are the most precious, innocent, wonderful beings that also will be the creators of the future and the present. And it gives us so much joy to talk about this, to explore this, to support others in this, to inspire, and to build the vision for new ways to educate, for new ways to parent, or shall I say, the original ways to parent. So I encourage you to listen to that, read the books, of course. I mean, I've been saying it, but please go read the books. And also to meditate on this and allow yourself to hear the voices that are coming from the future, and let those children tell you what we can do right now. I know that, as I've been saying, creating a more natural environment, cleaning up the mess that we've made, and that's one thing that is also important. We're always looking to escape. So many of us are looking to escape the cities, to escape the urban areas, and go out and live in the country, and that's definitely valid. But we have in part created the dirt and the mess and the pollution, so we might as well be part of the cleanup process. Come up with great ideas, come up with great ways, come up with inspiring things. And I'm telling you, back in Austria, Kristin and I have been part of many groups that have talked to various city councils and various mayors to allow for public spaces to be used as gardens, to be used for urban gardening, to be used for community gardening. And this has created such a beautiful community. And imagine, I mean, you could have just 10 parks in a city and it's all just lawn, or you could at least dedicate 2 or 3 to urban gardening, and you could have beds, and you could share in the work, and share in the harvesting, and share in the exchange of wisdom, and be a part of a beautiful new community. And these things are all connected to our children, because I believe I've seen this over and over. Our children all went to Waldorf school for a while, and they all learned, not just in school, at home as well, but they learned how to garden. That was just part of their curriculum. They would go out, the school had a garden where they would go out once or twice a week, take care of the garden beds and take care of the plants and be responsible. And these things are so valuable, and we are underestimating the importance of that. And so every now and then we want to speak more about the children, and we realize it's not as flashy a subject, especially for those who aren't parents yet, or those who already are kind of out of the parenting phase where the children are out of the house. But what could be more important than that? And I see it in the grandparents' eyes. I hear it in their words. When we go on our walks, we so many times we come across grandparents walking with their grandchildren through the woods. And the grandchildren are their whole pride. It's what they almost solely live for, because they understand the beautiful purpose and importance of being there and having a positive influence. And so what can we do right now? As I asked yesterday, what can we do today to improve the environment right now? What can we do to improve the well-being of our children? What can we do to bring them into a more natural state of being, eating, thinking, playing, living, all of those things. And just begin with the first step, not with an overwhelming task, but with the first step. And the next step will follow, and the next step will follow. And I will one more time encourage everyone to please begin with the first book of the Ringing Cedar books. And once again, we're not associated with the author or with the publisher. We're not associated at all. Just read them. Read them. It's a powerful experience, and your life will change. Your perspective will change. You will shift. I can't tell you exactly how. I can just tell you that you will shift, and that it created a movement over the past 20, 25 years now. Millions, tens of millions of books have been sold across the planet. It created a movement in many, many countries, many, many settlements, and little villages have been created. Many new schools have been created, and many happy, beautiful souls that are creating really a new earth, not some artificial idea of some great reset or none of that bullshit. Something real, something amazing, something natural, something that resembles true thriving in the real meaning of the word. And so, go check it out, read the books, and come back and let us know. Many of our tribesters are already reading them, and we get, maybe even start a book club. Maybe even for those of you who are reading it, start a book club, talk about it, talk about the ideas that are explored, and begin, if you have small children, begin sharing some of that with them. It's really, really powerful. Let me glide through the comments here. Welcome those who are maybe new today. Let me see. Beautiful. Haley says, I have faith that I'm divinely guided. That's always wonderful. Rose says, let's do a school in Nashville. Absolutely. That's the plan and the vision. Emma says, we should do a group meditation, visualize and co-create an amazing future through amazing creationship. Well, Emma, that's a wonderful idea. And please, guys, use our groups and platforms to organize those things. We, by all means, everywhere where you can post and share, if you think of a good date and you think of a good time, by all means, please do it. Please do it. Illy says, make sure to like this live stream. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And then Emma also says, allowing children to go deep in the thought process is inspiring. Children have so much to teach us. Indeed, they do. Indeed, they do. They really have so much to teach us. It's wonderful. Alma, thank you so much, Alma, for your contribution. I really appreciate it. Thank you. We do appreciate it so much. And another thing that one thing that happens automatically is that as soon as you begin to think about either your children or children in general, their well-being, their future, you become the grand being that you are rather than a more self-centered being, and self being the ego self. It is natural. And for those of you who are parents, the feeling. You become, there's something so much greater than your human ego self that begins to unfold, that you cannot help yourself but become a better being, a better human. But there's another thing that happens. There's a softness that comes to you, because as we speak to our children, and as we guide them and lead them and teach them, there's a certain kind of softness that is required, not to belittle them, but to honor their sovereignty in a respectful way. And all of that makes you so much more empathetic, and it makes you more in touch with your feelings. It allows you to be more in touch with your creator. All of those things happen. And so we believe this is the highest form of expressing yourself. And we thank all those wonderful teachers out there, because there are wonderful teachers out there. We have a wonderful teacher in our tribe, and probably more than just Illy, but Illy we know really well. People that dedicate a certain, time and area of their lives to enrich the lives of children. What a powerful thing to do. And just something to really walk with, reflect on, meditate on, and allow yourself to be inspired with. There's limitless, there's unlimited potential in what we can do, how we can do it, if we allow ourselves to go and leave the boxes that we have created for ourselves, and leave the boxes that society has created, and leave the boxes that the system has created. It's all of the good stuff is outside of those boxes. Yeah, that's kind of my guess. It's time for me to get off my soapbox for today. But thank you for tuning in, and I might just finish this today like I started it. I don't know, for those of you who weren't here, it's my own little version of Man in the Mirror. I'm starting with a man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message ever been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, just look at yourself and then change. Be the change. Be the change. Na 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 na. Inspired Tribe, thank you for tuning in. We'll be here again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard, here on the Inspired channel. Remember, we're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. And for today, please go and check out the link, check out the Ringing Cedar books, get inspired, order your first one, and maybe start a book club. We'd love to do that, actually. So for those, if anyone feels inspired to do it, invite us in, and we might chime in from time to time, but connect and exchange your views, your thoughts, whatever you have to say about these wonderful books. And we'll see you again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard, right here. We love you, and have a wonderful and inspired rest of your day.